Bhakti means love and devotion. Everyone has love in their heart. All living creatures have love in their heart. Tigers, snakes, scorpion, consider wild animals. They love their children. This is how the world is sustained. Human love is conditional. No matter how much you love your parents, children, brother, sister, it is conditional. At one point, it doesn't expand beyond. And there is nothing wrong with it because it gives us opportunity so we can cultivate unconditional love. You learn from charity begins at home, so you learn to share with your family. You sacrifice a little bit. Instead of I, me and mine, us and ours. Then you expand to your neighbors, then the country, then the globe, and then all the living creatures. But highest kind of love is love for God. And I read from scriptures, textbook of Bhakti Yoga, Amruta Swarupa. Amruta is like nectar. And when one gets bhakti, one becomes free from likes and dislike. All the desires are fulfilled. One becomes content. The highest kind of happiness is contentment. This is what happens. One doesn't desire and one doesn't get excited when something happens. Now for most people it is hard to understand. It's a dull life. You don't get upset, you don't get excited, but that is the highest kind of accomplishment. Okay, it's hard to understand at certain levels, so this is why I'm sharing with you, because all of you are in touch for a long time, you understand. That is called equanimity or samta. In Buddhism also they use the word samta. In the Bhagavad Gita they use the word sthita prajna state. Spiritual maturity. Maturity is you are at such a level that all the things happening in the world, ups and downs, pleasure and pain, gain and loss are temporary. You don't get disturbed. To understand that principle, you can simple thing is children are playing, 3-4 year old, they're fighting, and they say, I won't talk to you anymore, and they fight. They are playing with a doll, somebody rips up the arm and they're upset like something really bad happened. And grandparents say, don't worry, I'll get you another toy. Okay. The grandparents have more experience, though they have more maturity, so they don't get upset like children. Toys are broken. Same way, we are in the school. We are considering mine and yours and gain and loss, honor and insult. Spiritual maturity is all these things are secondary. It doesn't touch you. This is bhakti. Okay. How to cultivate bhakti? There are 9 steps. This I put in the video, but every time I explain in different position, I am myself at that time. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they describe 9 steps for bhakti is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So this is the process. How one builds connection with God? Usually deity worship, worship God, that helps. And they do different activities so that this activity of worshipping God or idol ultimately turns into supreme love, so that you love all the living creatures of God. Unfortunately, people who are in deity worship, like in Hindu temple, they get so much caught into deity worship and they forget the essence. What are the 9 steps? Shravanam is a listening. Kirtanam means singing glory. We chant mantra is singing glory of God. Okay. Listening to the glories about God, like listening, see, oh, God created this, and all, or wherever you hear. Kirtanam, singing glory. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Smaranam, remembering God. That's it. Okay. Pada Sevanam, worshipping the feet, that means offering and doing different worship. Padasan, Archanam, worshipping, offering, Vandanam, bowing down, and then Dasyam means being a servant, Sakhyam means making friendship, and Atmanivedan means surrender. Okay, so this is how we understand. If you want two souls get together, say boyfriend and girlfriend, how do they establish the connection? Intimacy. First you hear about somebody who is beautiful or talented or whatever. Then you talk about them. Kirtana means it. Then you remember them. And then you offer them gifts, things. You establish more connection. Then you become more like a das or servant. That means, would you marry me? See, you come down. Vandanam, bowing down. Dasyam, Sakyam is intimacy. And then surrender, that means you become one. So these are 9 steps to establish bhakti. Okay. And para-bhakti is when all this you mature, then you see spark of God in all living creatures. Why this Navada bhakti necessary? Because if you do that bhakti to your child, attachment will come in. So you use the idol which is called avatara. Rama was avatara, Krishna was avatara, and they have pastime 6,000 years ago and so forth, and their life has a message. So worshipping them, so you are establishing that divine power in the statue. So whenever they have statue in a temple, they do the ritual called prana pratishtha. Prana means liveliness, spirit. And through the ritual, they enter the liveliness in that statue. So people see that statue as alive. And this is how you establish connection. Okay. This is bhakti and how you cultivate bhakti. So let's do the mantra. Hey Gopal, Radha Krishna, Govinda Govinda.